Are we going?
We're going.
You already pressed the button? No claps?
No.
You want to clap?
We're talking, that's good enough.
Sorry.
Great.
I'm sorry.
I'm so glad to be here, Dustin. What is Namsan Sool Club?
Do you want to set this down, this mushroom, or has it got to be this close?
It's going to help the sound.
Okay. We get a little clippy for you next time.
So we don't get everyone's conversation.
Gotcha. You want me to talk to the camera, or you want me to talk to you?
Talk to the camera. Our viewers want to know you.
All right. So this is Namsan Sool Club. Next week on Saturday, that's the, what day is that day? Right now, 15th, yes. 15th, we have our 1-year anniversary, Namsan Sool Club. Namsan Sool Club is a place where we have a different approach to the industry. We have 100 different traditional craft premium surus on our selection. We do every single one of them by the glass, and we have a curation service. So you can sit down, we can show you a menu, of course. We got this long laundry list of tons of different surus. You can sit down and you can ask any of us, you can tell any of us, say, I want something sweet. It's cold, I want something warm. I had a shit day, my boss, he shit on me all day. I need 56.4% soju to get a good proper thunk in there. And we will run the curation. So if you tell us exactly what you're feeling in the mood for, glass by glass, person by person, guest by guest, we're able to curate within that range and then find your perfect sip as quickly as possible.
Since I've experienced this myself, this is a very comfortable way to enjoy Sool. It really is.
It has to be. It's like slipping into a warm bath or something, right? Your first glass becomes a second glass, your second glass becomes a third. What do you say I bring a bottle out and we do like a just kind of spontaneous tasting together?
Sure.
Yeah?
Fantastic.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Boom. This is some pre-release.
Oh.
So you know the brewery Palpal? Palpal Makgeolli? You know Hangang Jujo, Naruseng. Originally they worked together and then they split off into 2 different entities. Palpal focuses on, it's actually, the industry is kind of going in a lot of different ways right now. I mean, we have old-ass masters like Andong Soju is going to release a 13-year-old oak-aged here in about 3 years. I tasted their 7-year a couple months ago. It was just like fire. But these old masters, they never played around with oak before. And we got these old triffs hanging out, playing with oak. We got the young kids putting passion fruit in the makgeolli or lychee or whatnot. And like, the industry is in a stage of exploration. And yet, Palpal focuses on rice water and the yeast and just how to fine-tune all of those things in order to make something slightly fruity or to pull out those dry notes. They really work on these minute details. And they haven't released this yet. This is called Hade Potion, and it's going to be available here soon. It's 14.5%. This is their original brew that they base their other brews on. It's their original brew before they put it into a bottle and kind of popularized the diluted version, which is Palpal. Palpal is beautiful. Now, Hard Potion, you're going to look at how thick that is.
Oh yeah.
Like seriously, I'm gonna hold this. I'm gonna do the second one up in the camera here, because now let's talk about viscosity in Sool. Is this? I don't even know. I can't see. Whatever. It's fine. Is it close? Is it something like that? Is it going to adjust? Like,
we'll make it adjust.
Like this is syrup in terms of body. It's we need to develop new terminology because
the texture is so important. There's more variety of textures.
Yeah, because Sool has a dynamic range of body. You talk about wine and you say high body and they'll say something like cream, but this is way beyond cream. So we need new vocabulary, we need new terminology in order to be able to discuss these things properly. Hard Potion is even at this temperature, which is quite low, those aromas pop. And think, let's just, pick a few fruits and then tell me if you think this is grass or wood. At a cold temperature like this, at this viscosity, to get this level of esters in terms of the aroma is an extremely difficult accomplishment. A lot of times a higher body is going to trap those esters down. They're not evaporating at the same rate, right? So a lighter bodied alcohol, a lighter bodied soul is going to have those esters just vibrating in the glass because they're evaporating, they're lifting themselves up, and you have access to a greater concentration of them much quicker. Now this is extremely, extremely viscous, and yet the aromas, the esters there that you're able to pick up are intense, concentrated. You get it?
Now, is there some leathery aroma too?
Yeah, I would say
some deepness.
There is a bit of leather here on the very back end. Sometimes I call that like over-dried grass. You know, when you cut grass and then you just leave it alone forever and then it gets sun-baked, and it can be kind of like musky in terms of a plant note. I don't know if I would call this musk or...
This has the character of pure soul made with rice noodle water, right?
This is rice noodle water, and this is all they focus on at Palpal, and they don't deviate from it.
Okay.
And so far, they might do some, I don't know what they're going to do in the future, but so far as the years that they've been producing, it's been rice noodle and water, and this is the magic of Nurek, right? Kumjung Sansong, the head of that brewery, said in an interview when I was doing a documentary with him, he said there was a universe contained in Nurek, and that hit me so hard.
Because you could potentially any fruit you can imagine.
Exactly.
But so for this one, is there like maybe some banana peel at the beginning?
I would call this banana pith.
Pith. Oh.
So you know the little strings that come off a banana that are a little bit bitter? Like monkeys will peel that shit off and like throw it away before they give it to their kids. So banana pith, those strings, it's got that bitterness, but it has a banana-esque like note. And then here's my question for you, Jeff: is this banana underripe, ripe, or overripe?
I mean, I would like saying underripe combined with the rest of the aroma I get.
You're gonna love what I just did. I just mouthed underripe before you made your prediction.
Oh.
Good on you. All right, Sam, let's go. There's the taste. Okay. Are bananas popping? Not so much, right? There's something there. There's fruit to it. I don't know if I would call this juicy. There's a bit of spice. There's some spice there. Do you know?
It's sharp at the beginning.
There's a fruit note. It's sharp at the beginning. It's very bright, and then it rolls into this mineral. It rolls through a mineral, like a dry mineral note, and then it dips off. Do you know long pepper? It's like less peppery, but slightly warm, but also floral at the same time. You can order it on Coupang now. If you're interested in what long pepper is, order long pepper. Long pepper is fucking beautiful. It's a beautiful ingredient. And there's this dry earth note to it, right? Like, a lot of times I would say cement, but I don't want to call this cement. This is more like granite. There's something there that's like dry, rock-like, the minerals that are produced via fermentation in Sool are identifiable exactly. And we're not talking about wine. Like, the wine kids are always sitting there like, what is minerality? And then they sit there and are you experiencing that? And it goes back and forth because it's so like, but when you take a grain and you ferment it, if you hit that mineral note, it's gonna pop, it's gonna hit, and you're gonna understand exactly what it is.
Okay.
And it can be dry stone, it can be wet earth, it swings between the two.
So that's something I hadn't thought of before at all. The mineral components.
Yeah, because
I hadn't thought of that
Sool
before.
provides this, and it's very unique to Sool, especially Sengju, unpasteurized Sool. Not distilled, non-pasteurized, living organisms in this sip, in this cup. You can find minerality in explosive, dynamic character. You get that spicy, and there's that bamboo note there. There's something like juksun there, kind of something. Oh, and then you get these. Woo, you get this like almost like a bruised cherry with a jujube there, something like brandy and raisins. Ooh.
All in one tiny, all in a tiny container.
Heart Potion's going to be released here pretty soon. I'm really excited about it. Unfortunately, I don't have any of Palpal's selection on my list because I'm a fucking snob, and everything needs to be in a glass bottle, or you're not welcome in my place. This is going to be in a glass bottle.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about it because I've loved Palpal's makgeolli. I love the bieru, the butter makgeolli. Have you tried that?
Oh, I saw that advertised.
Yeah.
I wondered.
Oh my god, it's nice.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, the butter makgeolli is so nice.
Oh, okay.
It's so savory, it's so nutty, it's so creamy. It's like, woo. You know, they originally did like this really high ABV glass bottled wonju, wonju version. And then they deviated from that, they diluted it down, they put it into a plastic bottle. I tried the plastic bottle yesterday. Again, I haven't tried it in a while. And it was just so nice. And it breaks my fucking heart that I have to become the pretentious bastard that says I do not allow plastic bottles on my selection. I'm sorry, world, but I have a tiny ass little bar, and if I put plastic bottles on my selection, I won't be able to pay rent. But I love what they're doing. You want another sip? How long do we got? Cut. So I kind of steamrolled you the first episode. Now we're going to open it up a little bit so that we're going to open up dialogue so that you have a lot more to say, because me showing up to your channel and just fucking steamrolling you it makes me look like an asshole, and I don't exactly want everyone to know that I'm an asshole all the time.
What a good plan.
And
we have a chance to taste some more?
So, I wanted to introduce something to you. One of the things that I am blessed with, being a Sool sommelier, is people send me their projects. Brewmasters and distiller masters, they send me their projects and they want my feedback, and I'm very blessed that they respect my opinion that much. I do spend a lot of time tasting, and I take it very seriously, and it's always unbiased. Whether I love you or not, I will always give you my honest opinion. That's the way that I go through a tasting, and I think that's the only there's the business aspect in the sommelier world in terms of tasting. Like, this person, this winery spent this amount of money and they sent us this number of cases and you have to upset. Like, I get it, but I will always sit down and take a sip, an honest sip, and give you my honest appraisal of your wares. And so, one of the things that was sent to me here is, we know Jinmaek. You know Jinmaek soju? It's done in Andong. And they have an exclusive line called Shine Pawi. Jinmaek Pawi. It's Poet's Rock, right? And that's actually a rock in the center of the river in front of their distillery. It was named that by a poet. I climbed that last year when I swam across the river to go to his brewery because there are no roads that get to it. You either have to swim across the river or hire a tractor to get you across the river in order to get to the brewery. So I did that last year.
That seems extreme. Okay.
And then I woke up the next morning. I climbed Poet's Rock. I didn't get very far up it. It's a little bit slippery. Like I rock climb sometimes, and yet I got about halfway up. I was like, it's basically like 3 meters, 4 meters maybe, and I started to get like shaky. I'm gonna eat it. I didn't want to eat shit on Poet's Rock unless there was a camera that just like snap that as I eat shit, like clap, and then like make that a new label. New line, Dustin fucked himself on Poet's Rock. So he sent me this bottle a couple weeks ago for Dustin, private. This is an abernashed Jinmaek. And he said it's 59.50. Now I retested this. It's 64.9. Something like that. This is the only bottle. He's not going to bottle this. He's not going to produce this.
But they do produce other wheat soju.
They have a wheat soju line. They have their Jinmaek series. They have a 22, a 40, and a 44.6, but it kind of goes back and forth in percentage, like point whatever percent. Basically a cask strength. And then they have their oak age line, which is Jinmaek Pawi, Poet's Rock, and they have a 40% of that, and they also have a cask strength of that. Now, in order to get the Poet's Rock, you have to get the thumbs up, and that means you have to swim across the river because they sell their other line of sojus, which are beautiful. It's wheat on wheat on wheat, no rice involved, and they grow their wheat organically in front of their distillery, in front of the stream, and as the stream floods, it waters the field. Like, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And it's so beautiful what they've created. When you talk about craft and premium, that level is almost untouchable. In terms of the brewing world, the distilling world, like Jameson, sure, they filter shit through sugarwood charcoal. Cool. Now, did you hike for 3 years to find the exact spot that flooded every morning to organically water your crop of wheat? That was like, he's next level. Jameson, don't sue me. Your shit's fine. You make enough money, you don't need to sue me. Fuck off. Want to get a taste of this? So this is never going to be bottled. There is no plan for him to bottle this. He just sent me a bottle of his own personal, like, love passion project, and I'd like to sip on this with you.
Thank you for sharing this with me, Dustin.
Of course, of course. Even without a Glencairn or a snifter, the aroma just jumps into your nose, doesn't it? It's so available. You get those nice vanilla notes. It's almost something like bruised apple about it. Now we're talking, this is 60-something%. No, he has it at 59 on paper. I retested it. It's his word against mine, but I actually retested it. I'm pretty confident in mine.
You have the equipment.
He has the equipment too. It's him versus me. Maybe we should believe him. But for me, the alcohol hits all the way down here. Like you can, when you do an alcohol you do an ABV assessment, it's how far it goes down, right? So If it stops here, you're talking about 6%. If it stops here, you're talking about maybe between 8 and 10. If you get down to here, you're talking about 12, 15, right? And then you go down here, and then that's in the 18 range. If you hit down here into the soft spot, you're talking about 20s. And then you get down here, and from 20s to like right now, I'm feeling it almost here. From 20s to about the 40s is actually a small spot because they can burn similarly depending on how you produce the alcohol. Then you're moving from a ferment to a distillate. But you get all the way down here, which is where I'm feeling it now. Do you feel it there? Like almost here?
I am still tasting.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean,
God, I'm such an
I have.
I'm sorry.
It's like a ice cream cone aftertaste.
Ice cream cone aftertaste. I love those esoteric expresses for tasting notes, like freshly opened can of tennis balls. Like there are some things like.
It's because of the vanilla and the weediness.
Oh no, I'm not saying that this is freshly open can tennis ball can, but there are these really like off the map explanations of what this flavor or this aroma is. But we need them because that's how you're associating with your experiences.
Yeah.
So you're saying this is to you?
To me, it's like the remnants of crunchy ice cream cone, but I have that vanilla ice cream stuff.
Are we talking waffle cone or sugar cone?
Like a sugar cone.
Sugar cone. All right. Not the wafer. You know, the one that's like styrofoam. Not the wafer cone. You're talking about the sugar, the crunchy guy with the spiral there.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's caramel and vanilla and all this stuff.
All right.
What do you taste?
I like to hear people's tasting notes and then try and find them because everyone's different. And what's surprising is sometimes you can take like a tasting session. You're all sipping on the same sip, and someone is going to say passion fruit. Someone else is going to say underripe pineapple. Now, someone's going to say underripe pineapple, but the person that said passion fruit is also going to call grass on the note. And when you look at the big blanket effect, we're all experiencing the same thing, but our terminology and our pathways and our memories and the impressions of the things that I put in my mouth since I was a kid and I remembered, and things that you put in your mouth since you were a kid and you remembered, are different, but similar and very similar. And if you make that patchwork quilt, if you do a tasting, you realize we're all talking about the same thing, but our histories and our vocabulary are different. And that's the fun. You said ice cream cones. I agree with you. My parents run an ice cream business. And so I ate way too many ice cream cones when I was a kid. I actually don't eat ice cream anymore as a result. I hate ice cream. I'll eat ice cream maybe twice a year. It's probably going to be a sherbet or a sorbet, not an ice cream.
Okay.
But
so
that sugar cone, I reverb with that. That's nice. I'm going to say something that's going to be very difficult to approach right now. Another note that I'm getting on this is in chestnuts or in acorns in early spring, when they start to form and fall, there are these bugs, these like grubs that inhibit chestnuts and acorns. And I forage a lot, right? So I forage wild mushrooms, I forage chestnuts, acorns, everything. Not acorns so much anymore because I actually have never produced anything that was impressive with acorns. And I don't understand totorimo. I just don't get it. The acorn jelly. Give me Haribo. And then if I want soy sauce on it, I'll put soy sauce on it. That's the way I'm wired. But I used to forage a lot of acorns and chestnuts in Korea. And these, if you put them on a tray, all the grubs evacuate. And then you have this tray of like cute little like wiggling grubs that are about like this big, and they're super tasty. Like super tasty. They taste like butter plus the savory now.
And these guys have been eating acorns, or they trying to move in?
Yeah, they eat chestnuts. And acorns.
Yeah.
And they taste like butter, and there's a bit of a savory note on them. And I used to saute them and then just mix it into like a macaroni dish. And it's basically like, you guys can hate me, fuck off. I don't care. You never ate those bugs, did you? They're great. And the future is insects, right? Like how many more years, how many more decades do you think cows are sustainable? Huh? Like seriously, it's just not gonna happen. Like you remember the movie Soylent Green?
Just soybeans and lentils.
Yeah, soybeans, lentils.
We're supposed to be scary to people.
No, Soylent Green is made with people.
No, but advertising.
Oh,
just the advertising of Soylent. That was supposed to be scary to the audience at the time. That'd be so horrible. Those were the only two foods we had. Were soybeans and lentils.
Jesus.
But that's you can sure make a lot of things
out of soybeans and lentils. And think of what people lived on back in the day when they had no money, like grits, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I had a span in my life when I was a kid. It was real hard pressed because my dad was a piece of shit, and it was sardines and toast, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 3 weeks. I love sardines and toast. I never kicked the habit. Thanks, Dad. Anyways, but there's this note here that's kind of like buttery protein, and that probably comes from the fact that it's wheat-based, and on the outside of the grain of the wheat, when you use a full-grain wheat kernel, you have a lot of amino acids, and when those amino acids get fermented, they produce savory notes, and the oils are also going to translate in the fermentation process. They're going to bond.
Okay, and that's where things get a lot more complex than just starch turning into sugar. It's all the components
exactly because
being affected by all kinds of enzymes.
And all the and that's exactly Jeff, because all the enzymes we're talking about, generally when we're talking about brewing, we kind of our go-to is amylase, right? But what's protease? Protease is going to break down a protein. If you can break down a protein into sugars, you're going to ferment that into alcohol. Now, protease exists in bitter. It doesn't exist in yeast, right? So you're going to have that dynamic character available as an expression for the final sip. I think we're finding that right now. There's a long, drunk-ass winded way of saying, I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and I'm also intoxicated.
Thank you, Dustin. I think that's the perfect place to end it. If there's anything you want to say to my viewers, please do it now.
Shit, Jeff. Honestly, I don't know you viewers, and I don't care. I would rather say it to you.
Say it to me.
You started off as kind of this renegade brewer in the middle of nowhere, and then you popped up on the map. And now, honestly, like, we have guests that come in from Mexico, from Northern Europe, from France, from Singapore, and they bring me their home brews here at my bar at Namsan Sool Club. Like, can you taste this for me? Like, where did you learn how to brew? I was watching Jeff Rubich's videos. Like, that's fucking wild. Good on you. Beautiful. Ass pats from Namsan Sool Club and me to you forever. You're doing an amazing job. Okay. We love it.
You're too kind. Thank you. I think that's the best thing you could have said.
There we go.